Welcome back. We have here two SKX watches that have been given a new life, and I think it'll save you some money too. There are a lot of SKX watches that are heavily modified with aftermarket parts, and some are genuine Seiko, which will obviously demand a heftier price tag, but some are just mod parts. I bought the Seiko SKX 007 and 009 not looking like this. This is already restored. The SKX 007 bezel was heavily damaged, and the crystal had a lot of scratches. You can see on the bezel here, it became bluish, and I thought it would grow on me. As you know, some fellow collectors bleach the bezel to make it look ghosted. On the Pepsi, it works very nicely, I should say, but on this one, it never did. So I bought an OEM bezel insert from someone online, and it was a pull out from an original SKX 007, since some owners just put a ceramic bezel on it. It was quite pricey, but it was worth it, since it made the watch look better. However, if you've noticed, the dial is, or rather the indices are kind of yellowish as compared to this one. And also the text of 200 diverse 200 meters there is also yellowish. And that is something that has been caused by exposure to sunlight or heavy usage, since as you've seen in the condition of the dial. So these two watches, I say, are the best SKX watches that I've bought, because they're used and they were not in great condition. And the first thing I always do, and you should too, especially when buying secondhand, is to check the dial condition. This can be easily done, as I will demonstrate. Okay, so you'll need a few things, such as a screw back case opener, a case holder, a dial holder, and a tweezer, or any of these will do. I bought it online. It's fairly cheap. Comes on all basic steps that you need just to open the case back. And disclaimer, I'm not a watchmaker. I just want to check the condition of the dial. So let's just pretend for a moment that this crystal is messed up and you cannot see whether the damage is only on the crystal or also in the dial. In order to do that, we have to open it up. So we'll first put it right here. I'll put it on camera there just to lock it on place. I like to use the small tips. There's a lot of options to choose from, and I don't really put it there. I just put these two across. It helps more of the grip, and I just put it in the right distance, and I just spin it, or rather turn it, and the case back is loose. Alright, so there we have it. So there's the movement. Just unscrew the crown, and we are going to press on that little lever right there. So we have to push it down, and then we're going to push it with this or a toothpick, but I'm just going to use this one. So right here and just pull it. So we've pulled the crown and we have the movement, and usually what I'll do is just I'll put it there, a bit over, and give it a few taps. Oh, okay, so it just removes there, and you can see this is the condition of the dial. So far it is clean. There's a slight amount of discoloration, but nothing major that is very noticeable. So that's how you check it, and you can see that sometimes if the crystal is in a bad condition, you can easily see that the damage is mostly here, not on the dial. And the minute track is only accessible through the front, so you have to remove the crystal, but before that you have to remove the bezel too. So yeah, there you have it. That's how I check. It's the same thing with this one when I checked it, but yeah, so that's how I do it, and it's very simple, and you can just put it back opposite. We just have to center it first, make sure everything's aligned. You can also double check if the crown is in by pulling that, and it does not dislodge. So yeah, and you just put it back. So again, very simple, and we'll just re-tighten it again. We'll just screw down the crown so it doesn't get on the way. Yeah, and we just tighten it. There we go. Yeah, so that's how we check the dial. Okay, so now that that's over, in terms of the movement, the 7S26 can be easily serviced by any local watchmaker. I think it is a non-issue. So this SKX 009 here has a beautiful blue dial and also a blue shade of the minute track, so keep in mind that they're different, it's not black. And this is the Japan version, which I personally don't go crazy if it is the K or J version. Some collectors really want Japan, but it is basically the same watch. So why am I sharing this with you? What is the significance? Well, I just think that there are a lot of watches that look like crap on the outside, but when you see the dial and it is in good or even excellent condition, having the crystal buff can make a huge difference. I'll just say this now, I highly suggest not to polish a watch case unless you want to keep its value. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes untouched cases are better in used watches. Of course, that is if you want to get the most out of your watch in terms of value financially, but by all means, if it is your personal watch and you just want to give it a little love, I can't say no to that. The SKX 009, I have bought a cheap aftermarket Pepsi bezel to make it look new, but I just can't deal with it. The naturally faded bezel actually works like a charm. I mean, it even looks cooler in my opinion. I can see why people bleach this intentionally. It looks astonishing. The bracelet is also from the SKX. The difficulty today is getting a new SKX, and I do recommend this watch, especially used ones that have heavy signs of usage but have a clean dial, which may be selling cheap but can be given a little bit of time and money to fix. It just makes it feel more special. So I guess restoring one is better than buying a new old stock. There are still parts available, and if you are tempted to mod, there are thousands of mod parts out there. I like to have a few original pieces and maybe mod the extra watch cases, or you can actually build an SKX from scratch by just mods. Maybe just have an original dial and hands, that will work. These watches were with me for almost a year now, just after my state of the collection last year, and I just got them serviced and restored just recently, and I'm just quite happy to share the results with you. Yeah, you probably are tired of looking at this watch because the question is always, oh, should you get this or the SRP case, the turtles, or the simple entry-level dive watches of Seiko? I think the argument there, the prices are going to be higher on the new old stock. So that's why I'm trying to encourage that maybe there are some watches that look like crap but can still be restored into excellent conditions. I don't know, that's just me. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd like to see a state of the collection by the end of the year. I don't know if that's something you would like to see, but yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching and happy Halloween. Stay safe.